My next guest is a theatre performer, a director, both here in Australia and in the UK. Welcome to Showtime, Barbara Crawford.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you very much for joining me. Now, I believe that you've been involved in theatre for most of your life. How did you get started?
Oh, like most people at school, we had a new teacher who came to my school who started a drama club, and I was hooked from then on.
Do you remember what your first production was?
Gosh, that's going back a long way.
I mean, it was a few weeks ago now.
We did the one that I was in, the first one I was in that had a speaking role was As You Like It, and I was Olivia.
Oh, wow.
So that was we'd done lots of like little sort of bits, like sections of plays and things, but that was the first full on role that I did. I loved it.
What was the first show you did outside of school?
Well, as I said, I was totally hooked. So I went to drama school in London, and we did heaps and heaps of stuff there. We did the first one we did was the Trojan Women, which was pretty heavy going.
Yeah.
We did Pride and Prejudice, which was fun. I was forgotten who I was in that. The youngest daughter, whatever her name was, and we did all sorts of things. We did lots of film stuff for. There was an education channel that London. Well, I suppose it was Greater London Council who ran it, and we used to do lots of stuff on there. So, it was just fabulous. I loved it.
And that was a little while ago, and I'm trying to say that in the most respectful way that I possibly can.
Oh, yes.
It was a little while ago. How have you seen theatre evolve from then to today?
Well, I was very lucky because I was actually in London and I saw Gielgud. I saw the first when Maggie Smith did Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. Saw her do that. I saw Edith Evans. Saw the Topol, the first version of that in London. So I had all that sort of like the greats that I saw because we were subsidised to go and see as many shows as we could, and I took total advantage of that. So how did it evolve? Probably the technology. Has added so much to theatre, I think, and also the pace. Like the pace of shows has definitely quickened up, and I think technology has helped that they can do quicker changes over. Added things to lighting that you couldn't do it back in the 70s.
But audiences also expect a tighter show, a quicker show, don't they?
For sure. When you look at some of the older TV shows that you thought were really good and clever when you saw them, and you watch them now, they're sort of like ponderous and slow. And I think that's true of theatre in a lot of ways. And that's why these days, if you try and do an older play, because I was looking at doing a Noel Coward recently, and no, it was just too long and ponderous, and it would have taken me a long time to edit. And I don't want to do that because he was a master. I loved Noel Coward, but I didn't want to do the Hay Fever or, the usual ones. And the other ones are pretty long and heavy going.
My wife and I go through this sometimes, and we're trying to introduce our kids to some of the movies and musicals that we loved as kids. And my goodness, some of them drone on for a bit. Yeah. Even just the way they're edited is so different to the way a movie's edited today.
Oh, for sure. They used to have somebody get out the car, walk across the street, and open the door. Well, now they're just cut straight to the next scene. It's things like that, and it may make them so long. Yeah.
What's a production that has significantly impacted you personally?
Oh, I saw a wonderful production. It was called People, Places and Things. It was on at the National Theatre in London about 4 years ago with Denise Gough in the lead role. And it was absolutely fabulous. She was great, but the way they did the set was very innovative. And I really would have loved to have done that play, but I've pitched it to 2 or 3 of the community theatres and they just go, no, it's too hard. It's too hard to do. So I just keep it in my mind. But at the end of the show, the whole theatre stood up and gave her a standing ovation. It was just brilliant. So yeah, that's the more recent one that's stuck in my mind. Yeah, loved it.
And right now, you are working on Minnie and Larraz.
Yes.
It's written by Lally Katz, who's one of Australia's most produced playwrights, an Australian-American. Shows include Atlantis, The Dollhouse, Frankenstein, and Starcatcher. What is it about Minnie and Larraz that really drew you into to that story in this moment?
Well, I saw it. Well, Minnie and Larraz was actually commissioned for the Melbourne Theatre Company, and they did it in 2017. And I saw it and loved it. And back in the pre-COVID days, I tried to find it, but it's never been published. It's not a published play of Lally's. It's one that was done for the MTC. So I got in touch with MTC and asked them about the rights and what could I do. They said just talk to Lally's agent, which is what I did. And he contacted her and said, yeah, that's okay. We don't mind you doing it. So we worked it all out, and then COVID hit. So I was going to do that in 2020, so it never happened. But it was still one that I wanted to do, and I was keeping it in the back of my mind all the time. So when I came to do it for Maudie Alec 2 years ago, it was probably 2023. And she'd got a new agent, so I had to go through the whole process all over again. But luckily they said, yeah, they were happy. So I can honestly say it's the first community theatre production of this play.
And those that didn't get a chance to see it in the city, what's the show about?
It's set in a retirement home. Lally Katz writes very much about people that she knows. So it's set in the Jewish community of a Autumn Road retirement village. And the two main characters, Minnie and Larraz, are avid bridge players, which is another thing that drew. I'm a bridge player myself, so I was drawn into that too. And both of them have lost their bridge partners, and Larraz is very keen to team up with Minnie for the Australian National Seniors Championship Cup, which is coming up. But Minnie has other ideas. She's trying to marry off her granddaughter. And Larraz has a grandson who's eligible. So there's a deal struck that, okay, I'll play with you, but you have to encourage the daughter and the granddaughter and the grandson to get together. So there's two strands to it. It's how they go with their bridge and how they go with the matchmaking. It's a out comedy, total. Lots of
and it sounds like a lot of fun. How's it been collaborating with the performers and Maudie Alec Theatre Company to bring this story to life?
Well, I'm on the board of Maudie Alec Theatre, actually a very new board member. They asked me on just earlier on this year. And I've done quite a few plays for them, so I've got a really good relationship with Maudie Alec. I've only worked with one of my cast before, so they all came along to auditions. I had a lot of people who auditioned who wanted to be in it, so I was very lucky to have a good choice of people for the play.
What message are you hoping to convey to audiences who come along and see the show?
It's time for a laugh. It's a solid laugh.
And we kind of need a bit of that at the moment, don't we?
Well, absolutely. And there's been a lot of feedback from the audiences that have been through Maudie Alec Theatre earlier this year, because we've had two quite heavy dramas and an Agatha Christie, and the audiences are ready for a comedy. So here it is.
Yeah, fantastic. Timing couldn't be better. Minnie and Larraz is playing at the Shirley Burke Theatre in Parkdale from the 30th of August until the 8th of September, presented by Maudie Alec Theatre Company. And tickets are available at maudiealectheatre.com.au. Barbara, thank you so much for the chat and all the very best for the season.
Thank you. Thank you to you, Andrew.